All right, good evening, graphic. I'm about to finish them off. Okay, so hopefully that's where it needs to be. Some kind of problems with the legs here, but I'm gonna do. I got him down to the head, pretty good. He's starting to bleed a little bit. Can't seem to get these legs where I need them to be to get the pelt to come off the way I want it to. But I'm down near the head anyway. The head's the easy part. I'm starting to get blood dropping out, and just he's fighting me. He's fighting me. Can't seem to get where the leg is, and I couldn't get through him or anything like that. So I'm just gonna have to do this the messy way, trying not to cut into things that I don't want to cut into, and sometimes it's just like that. Like you just can't seem to get where you want. You want to get the least amount of blood on this guy as possible. The head's not so bad. It's just getting to it. So I'm going through his ear cartilage right there now. It's very slippy if you're wondering. I can cut into the cheek a bit. Just kind of getting them very careful. Work slow, because you will cut into yourself very quickly. I don't know what to tell you about his legs. They're just fighting. I can't seem to find the hole through. I'm just gonna have to do it that way. Of course, can't see nothing properly. Oh, lighting is always a big problem. And once they get so saturated with blood, you don't know where you are at all. Again, so just gonna have to be very careful here, but chances are you'll hear the drops once I make that mistake. Trying not to cut into what I don't want to cut into, but legs all kind of mangled here. Getting that angle. Oh, it's really, the last Otter gave me the same problem. Normally it's not this hard, but anyway. Ah, there we go. And it begins. Okay, so try to get that. If I have to make a mess, I'll make a mess, but I don't want to make a mess. And I definitely don't want to be cutting into things I don't want to cut into. There. She's like, I want to cut there, but it won't let me. There. Oh, get that pelt down. There we go. Okay, now. There. Now I can get in there. Okay. Okay. Be very careful on this part. This is where you gotta watch you're going through between the front leg and the armpit, all that. And then what you're trying to do is cut all this down so you can can't see what it is, where the pelt begins. Oh, this is turning into a mess. Oh, man. There are easier ways to make a living, I'm sure. I heard about it once. This is just turning into a disaster. I think because of the way the trap hit him, too, it kind of busted him up. Okay, there's the other one. Okay. Now, here's where it's going to make or break him. Find where that pelt begins, and just like it's just blubber and stuff. Okay, there we go. Get that there. Okay. Oh yeah, he's busted up something's over here from that trap. I gotta say, this one, a number was done on this one. Quite the number. There we go. Trying not to get blood on me either. And definitely try not to get the blood. If it does bleed, just pull up so that the blood just drips away from the pelt or whatever. A lot of meat and stuff here. kinda, sort of. There we go. This one was harder than it had to be. Way harder than it had to be, so one leg's almost free. Pretty much all the meat of the leg's still on the pelt. Come on. Do you have to be so difficult? So what the heck is this spaghetti string? There we go. Oh, I didn't want to do that. But at this point, I don't care. Okay, so get another chin and all that. There we go. Get this leg. Here we go. Always cut into the bone and into the meat. And if it makes a mess, so be it. Oh my God, look at that for a mess. Flashing them, I mean, I'm gonna when I go to flash them, it's gonna be in. That's gonna be quite the chunks stuck to them. But there we go. The other thing too is I got on the floor there a piece of kind of like plastic, so that if the pelt starts touching the floor, it's not right into the sand and all that stuff. You know, again, everything, bloods, you know, sand, all that stuff devalues your pelt, so you don't want to do that. So it's not too bad. He's not bleeding too bad, so that's not too bad. But I mean, you're going to get some blood, but I didn't cut the main jugular, so there's his two legs out. Now I'm under the chin, and the two jugulars again, one there and one there. So there's the tendons in the armpit. You tend to cut those a bit, but as long as you don't really cut them, not so bad. Now I'm onto the skull, the home stretch. So a lot of people usually don't like this part because they can't tell where they are. So you just go into the meaty parts, anywhere you see like a bit of a stretch, that's where you go. You'll cut through the ear cartilage, and then once you're through the ear cartilage, which is pretty far down, like they got a long face on these guys, so. But once you get to the ear cartilage part, you guys can see what I'm doing here. Hopefully that wasn't all off camera. Hopefully it was on camera. There we go. This is why when you get to the head, make sure just before you get to the head, do the last quick sharpen up on your knife and stuff like that, so you don't after that. But anyway, there we go. Now you can start going up like this, and put a little tension on them there. Well, there, you flip around about 100 more times, and just when you get near the face, it's a lot. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's a lot easier. You can see what you're doing. You just flip it around, and you're going to feel the jawbone and all that on your knife. Just go easy, because every time you hit that bone, it dulls your knife a bit and then slows down your process. And you can kind of squeeze as you're doing this, so just puts a little tension, and then you'll get to the point where you get a kind of resistance on the side, and that's, like I say, the eyes and the ears and stuff like that. And when you get to the lip, it's almost the home stretch. Now the good news is underneath, it's not as critical if you make a cut there, but again, the goal is not to ever cut into the pelt if we can help it. But if you do, you're going to be cutting the bottom lip away anyway, so you can get a little bit aggressive there if your patients are starting to wear thin or whatever. But this guy, I think he's going to be about 2 hours. He's definitely cold. He's not frozen, so not so bad. But anyway, I just want to get this done for you. My knife is starting to dull. No. Again, these are probably the hardest guys to do. I mean, it's work no matter which animal it is. Okay, then we get into the lip and the bottom jaw. And whatever clothes you wear, those are going to be your fleshing clothes, because they're going to get ruined even if you have yourself a good old-fashioned There we go. Open the lip there. Get your thumb in. And get some tension on it. Around the eye. There we go. Ow. He's biting me. You're not supposed to bite me. You're dead. Otter's revenge. Okay, there we go. Now, again, be very careful when you're doing this so you don't cut into yourself. Because it wouldn't take much. This wouldn't take much. Hopefully get the angle a little bit better here. Sorry about that. And then just going to do that. Pull off there. A little bit. This is why you don't want a pointy knife, so you're not cutting into yourself. This guy's a little bit tougher. But then again, I should have probably done him yesterday. My goal was to get under. I thought, you know, like you get to the 1 hour mark and you think you're doing really good. Now I'm at the eye here. You get to the 1 hour mark and you think you're doing really good, and then you get down to the shoulders and the head, and it's just like, okay, wow. Now, mind you, I've went inside a few times just to warm up. Stuff like that, because it is kind of cold out here. I gotta cut that down a bit. Watch your thumb in there. Watch out. You don't cut into yourself or slip. Don't put a lot of pressure on these things, because it doesn't take much to hurt yourself. And I mean, these knives, they might be dull while you're fleshing, but they're still plenty sharp enough to take off a finger, especially if your hands are really cold. You cut your finger off